Reverend Kenjitsu Nakagaki is a Buddhist priest ordained in a Jodoshinshu tradition, Japanese Buddhism. He is a president of the Buddhist Council of New York, vice president of the Interfaith Center of New York, and community clergy liaison for the New York City Police Department. Reverend Nakagaki is a master calligrapher who studied the Campo-style calligraphy when he lived in Japan. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to be doing calligraphy today. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, in Japan, Japanese people, we do a lot of calligraphy, and which use like a brush. Here I have a couple brushes, and brush and then ink. This is actually ink stick, so we can make the ink with the water, and then also the paper that we have, and then as long as we have this, we can do some writing. So that's the part of the calligraphy, practice, and we use for the discipline. Or mind, when you're busy and so forth, when you stop and think and then concentrate on writing. So it's part of the practice of concentrations and then calming the minds. And so those are very important aspects of calligraphy.
Is it something that's only done in Buddhism or in the Buddhist tradition?
Not necessarily. Even like school kids, they normally, even now, they have a class for calligraphy. So they just copy. Of course, there's this is a kind of small one. This is for the Shakyo part, but there's some sample. And then they try to copy exactly the same way in a stroke and everything. So that's, you have to pay attention to what you have. And at the same time, you have to kind of do your concentration of your own hands, mind, and so forth.
Great. And how long have you been doing this?
Oh, interesting questions.
Oh.
I mean, when I was, like you asked me how old I am.
Oh, no. How long? Oh, you can say how old you are, too.
It's over 40 years. I mean, if you're counting from the elementary school time.
Oh, nice.
But I started really learning more professionally with the teachers. Then that's, but still, 35 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Long time.
So you're very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe,
Well,
maybe a little.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You'll see.
We'll see,
Yeah.
yes. So do you want to give us a little demonstration then?
Yes. So first, maybe I'll show how we just start making the ink.
Okay.
And then this is also very important. Like this is like an incense. I brought the incense here too. But this is what do you call it? We put the water first, right? But at the same time, as we do this, it's calming down our mind. And so in a way, posture is very important. So you sit with the back straight, like doing a meditation, exactly the same way. And then breathe in and out slowly, and so you just settle your mind. And then but at the same time, you can by rubbing the ink like this. Then also you smell the ink, which is like incense actually. So. In a way, this is just simple writing, but it is the part of the meditative way. So as you rub the ink, you're calming down yourself. But because of the time, I will skip this. I put the little, what do you call it, ink. You can use the ink too, of course.
You can cheat. So how long would you normally have done that scraping thing, though?
Oh, it depends on. Oh, maybe I'll show you how dark this become. So So here's an ink that, maybe, but this is okay. Like so there's a little lighter still.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to add something a little more. Then until this ink become thick enough, but actually you can control. Sometimes you wanted to make the light color, and then some people like the dark color. So if you like a dark color, you have to rub a lot.
Long time.
Long time.
And do you only use black?
Yes, black ink in a Japanese one. This is so on a paper is white, and then also ink is a red. So it's like we use the white, black, and red ink. So what we show is the maybe simple characters, maybe peace. So in Japanese, and here. like this. And then normally when you write, of course we copy something normally, but
And what does that mean?
that means peace.
In Japanese?
No, Japanese we read as wa. Maybe I just write it wa, and which means peace and harmony. This is the two parts of the characters. One is like rice growing, and then this is mouth. From the mouth, rice growing. But anyway, keep the harmony together. So this also means harmony, and this means basically peace. When you have a peace in a Japanese words, wa is this part. And this is normally we just put after you draw, then you just put your signatures and so forth. And I'll just do it very quickly. And so this is a kind of ink that you see is the red ink here. And we place the seal. So which means whatever the words that you did, this is your work. So I put this
That's
seal.
like your name, your signature.
But this is
kind of.
like official. So I shouldn't put the wa here. But anyway, just in case, I don't know if you wanted to show it like this.
Yeah, that's nice. Very nice.
So,
so how did you can do whatever character you want, or how does that work?
Normally when they practice, this is a way you practice the character too. When you write those complicated characters, it's almost impossible to, how can you practice this complication, but then you just start do one by one, then you can start learning. And so calligraphy is one of the good way to learn the, Chinese character too, because you make normally we practice from the little bigger one. And so that you can see the old stroke, which way it goes. And then you can apply it later for that.
So these are actually Chinese characters?
Yeah, this is a Chinese character. But of course, there's a Japanese character too. Like the words, maybe hiragana, you might know. And that's the, or maybe the words like arigato, maybe you can just do quickly. But these character maybe if they start learning a little bit Japanese, then normally what they learn is like character of di, ga, to. Like this.
And what does that mean?
Thank you.
Oh,
gratitude.
I was like, I knew it. I felt like
it's
I should
not
know what
obrigado or something like that, but anyway, it's arigato. So it could be hiragana, or it could be katakana, or it could be English too in this country. So maybe some people doesn't want to write too much. Maybe this is a way to practice the nicer characters. And
so you're saying if you wanted to do it, you could do it at home with English.
Right. Yeah. So it's in Kenjitsu. So this is how.
That's your signature again?
My name will be read like Kenjitsu. And so.
So I'm sorry. That's the Chinese, and this is.
This is both are in Japanese actually.
Oh, both are in Japanese.
And so this is like, hiragana, arigatou. So this is normally the way it goes. And so we don't put much of the wa or other characters like that. But so that's how we learn the characters. And
it goes pretty fast. You can really do a whole lot of these.
No, it actually can do very slow.
Well, and that's what you're
right. So you can control what style of the character you want it to do. It's like some are very, very slow. Yeah, I can do sometimes slower, and then others are faster. And so it depends on your feeling. Today you want it to be more settled, then you can just do a slow one. And then for today, I thought our time is
Yeah,
running, so that's why I try to make it a little bit faster.
But normally if you were at
can
home or whatever, you do it more slowly. Because
slower,
you're trying to do it as sort of a meditative practice, I guess, right?
Yeah, so, and even meditative, well, fast one is also meditative too, actually.
Is it?
Because also, but it have to be really one point you write, so you can't stop it, but it's like a little flow of the stream. And so there is also different difficulties that both has. Some are slower. Is sometimes people think slower is easier, but it's not necessary. And a simple characters. Maybe I will show you one thing. Even like a small, simple line, it makes a big difference. But I don't know how long I'm gonna go in this one. But
great.
It's okay, I hope. So like slow one. It's the same, just the one, right? Go like this, and then stop like this, and or could be a little bit like this, or simply like this. So it makes a kind of different speed for each one, but also if you really like to slow it down, and some people spend a lot of time. Like that too. So this way, there are many different speed, and you can. And some people likes the fast one, some people likes the slow one, so they choose. But the one that I'd like to show is also calligraphy. 10 minutes. So the one that
I want to ask you a question about this. So you got four they're the same, not characters, but the same stroke. It's the same stroke. Yeah. Is one of these good and one of these bad? I mean, is there any way of analyzing that, or is that?
It's only the different style of
it's
writing.
It's just the different style.
So, the English also write this, the block kind of way of writing, and some italic type of things is much faster, and so that's the difference. And the shakyo, another one that I wanted to talk about is actually the Japanese style. So this is part of the meditative one for the Buddhist temples, and sometimes we copy the sutras. So in this case, especially, like we also prepare the incense, and well, maybe you can put the lights incense now. But so this is a little bit more formal, ceremonial type of way of doing a calligraphy. And so spend like 1 hour or something to just write it, copy the sutras. So that's also one way of doing it. And maybe I shouldn't do too much of that.
It's okay, it'll look very nice.
Okay. And so, we do, instead of rubbing the ink this time, we also, whatever the what do you call it, those textbook or text, which is actually normally from the Buddhist text, Buddhist sutras. So there's some meaning and so forth, but we just focusing on this so that we start chanting this first, and then you copy it.
And so the sutra is the
words of the Buddha.
Word of the Buddha.
So the correction of the words of the Buddha. So it's basically the teaching of the Buddha. And Buddhist teaching itself is really bring the wisdom, bring the compassion, and so that's through copying these sutras that you get those things to yourself. Sometimes we don't have wisdom, we don't have compassion, but maybe at this point you're sort of receiving the compassion, wisdom, and so hopefully that can apply to your life too. So just to reiterate, if you were doing it as a monk or in a temple or as a spiritual practice, you light your incense and you have your sutra that you'd want to copy, and you chant it or you say it, whatever, and then you would copy it. Right. Every character by character? Every character.
Would you copy it just identical to this, or would you?
Or
would you do it like this?
Yeah, identical, or it could be actually nowadays Japan they put some papers on top, like this. So because hanshi you can see.
It sounds like it's cheating. Is that cheating?
Yeah, well, and then after you sort of develop much better,
then you
don't have to. So but then some people who never done before, it's very difficult. I mean, looking at the picture, so many characters. So then, just copying on the top, that looks much easier.
Yeah.
So that's how they started to.
So if people wanted to do it at home, that would be an easy way to do it, right?
Right. There's always, easy way to begin with.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to be the very difficult one from the beginning.
Right.
But you need
fun.
Right. So by gradually you're getting better and better, and feel better. I mean, feel more. You wanted to do more, and so that feeling is very also important too. So so sometimes we do some chanting, like even ring the bell is okay, I guess. And so maybe I just show like we show respect, and then we'll put the incense, and then by ringing the bell we just calm down our mind and body. And then we just read this chanting. 仏語南無主上昇非国社会出住症状死重症医者が非仏国住無症者住牛不上住実法語者小仏如来海宮三段無料住仏異人空毒不可思議小宇宙上文豪名号親善歓喜内視一年死深英高願消費国即徳往生重風大天唯上五逆非法消like that. And after you do a little chant, so of course this is a little bit longer. I didn't make it faster.
You're just doing
Sorry.
it for TV,
for
TV purposes. So that's something that you learned as a monk, that chant. Because I noticed you weren't reading it.
Yeah, of course, memorize.
You memorized it.
If you do many times, you can memorize, of course. So, and then normally we just bow and so start writing, copying on the top, or so simply it could be slower. This is more like a slow one, so it's kind of. Anyway, so I don't think it's going to take for a long time, so we just bow. And then we just, one by one, and then each line we just calm down a little bit, and then, bow again. And then, right. And so that's one way to meditative way. And so, this. So. So that's the one of the kind of normally this is done at the temple. So in a shrine, and so have the atmosphere itself is all important. Part of the Buddhist practice also we try to use all senses. So like incense for nose and eyes to look at the statue sometimes, or scrolls and so forth. And then at the same time hear the bell, right? And then calming down your mind. So it's try to use all the senses. Of course, you use the hands. So in a way, when you're doing, you're not just copying, but actually entire body or entire existence is writing all those characters. So that's actually very important part of the calligraphy. It's not the handwriting. It's like a body writing or mind writing. So
it's like the whole practice. The whole thing is the important part. That's why when I was asking you about. Is one of these good or one of these bad? And you didn't say there's kind of no right or wrong, because it's not about that. It's not about the finished product. It's about the process.
Yeah, and also it's actually, you can tell how your mind today, sometimes you really cannot concentrate. You have so many stuff. Well, I have to do this and that. So then your writing appears that way. So it's actually very interesting. Every day you try to, it's almost impossible to write exactly the same characters every time. but something different.
Something different. It's like your lines, right? I mean, they're not, they were done at the same time, but they're all very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Is that, I mean, so there's like the master calligraphers, but what makes someone a master calligrapher?
No, it's just a title. I mean, some
just a
people
title.
like to make it masters or something, but
doesn't mean anything.
Normally in Japan, we try not to say I'm the master and so forth, more humble way. So, because master means, and a master like, the black belt or something. But that's actually for the beginning. For the part of the Buddhism, when you receive something, that's actually you decide to, really explore the path. Not just teach some people, but rather it's really, I decided now this is a path that I wanted to take. So that's a master. It's not the master, I know everything, so, learn from me or something. That's not the way it goes. It's more really like humbleness or sincereness is actually the quality of the master, the way that I understood.
It's the fact that you've done it a lot, and so you have a lot of experience, and that's what makes you the master.
And then the master shouldn't show you're the master. Well, I mean, that's how
the theory,
the cultural things too, probably.
Oh,
but
that's nice.
So by showing off itself is not really.
It's not a good thing.
At least in the Japanese culture.
It's not so good.
No. But so just regular, normal way, but still, something probably different from the regular people writing the line. But people who can tell can tell. People who can't see can't see. But that's okay.
Yeah. Is this a practice that you would sort of recommend to people at home, or?
Yes. So I thought this is a good practice. Never be introduced much, but because of the Japanese character. But yet in this country, of course, English could be used the same way. Well, you don't have that kind of class, so it might be good to have such class or develop such way of calming down your mind, and at the same time, like every day you have a certain time to do that. It's like a meditations or kind of your own service at home. And so that's what I thought would be very interesting to do. And so I try to introduce this kind of things to the more like, I guess, in this place. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's really nice. I mean, I have my own meditation practice, but I think, that would be really nice to introduce something like this. 'Cause, you sit. I mean, it'd be nice to have a little bit of
Do you know
variety.
what this one is?
I
don't know.
I think they're like those ones that you use with water.
Yeah. This is
that
for
right?
the water. Yeah, but actually I received this one for my birthday.
For your birthday. Happy birthday.
And then, well, no, not today, of course, but then before.
We can
and
pretend.
yeah, sure. Well, thank you for your wish.
So somebody gave that to you?
Right.
A close friend or an acquaintance?
Yeah, sort of close friend. And so, and then because he knows that I'm doing the calligraphy always, and then nowadays you don't want to waste the papers or trees and so forth. So therefore,
that's
it's
true. Because what would you do with this after you finished it? I mean,
that's really
maybe give them away.
Well, I mean,
but,
of course,
how many friends
recycle you can do. You can recycle it, but at the same time, maybe better not to use much of the papers, and so good for the environment. Then maybe this might be a very good environment in terms of calligraphy. You don't waste the paper or anything, and at the same time, of course, it has to use the simply regular water, not anything else. But this does is I was actually very surprised how this could be used right, for the regular practice.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, actually, I enjoy it very much because I only need the water and just leave it. I don't have to rub the ink. But of course,
it's not messy,
in a way,
you don't have to worry about it.
right. When you mess it, especially that's the one that for calligraphy ink. If you put in clothes and so forth, you can't take. That's very difficult to take off the colors. So, but this is just simply the water, so it makes it. Yeah, much easier. So, and then we just leave it every day. We can do a little chanting or, I leave this one in my shrine. So, and then we put the incense, and after that, then we can just write even like a thank you or something if it's English. Maybe maybe something like.
So you could almost be like a little prayer or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is maybe this may be one of the good, interesting way to use this as a practice, because it's important to have the mind of gratitude. Then you can just thinking of the gratitude to do this way. So instead of complain, or you can write it complain too.
That's right.
But
you can be our complaining board.
Yeah, complaining
But then
board.
once it dries, then that complaint's gone, right?
Right. That's the
Would that be
nice
neat?
part. That's the
Yeah.
nice part. And also, this is like a Buddhist parts. We talk about non-attachment. So when you have, maybe you could have a non-attachment for the in terms of. It's like a disappearing, and so it's whatever you have, you just do not attach and just disappear. And then next day, just clean too, right? Although it's not next day, it's like 5 minutes later, you can still do something. And even this can use border, I mean, of course, any character could be possible. So I just do arigato, right? So maybe like, it can be very nicely draw like this too. That's arigato, the thank you. And it could be slow, it could be fast, but then you can even meditate. You can look at the character disappear, as if maybe if you put, your something frustration, you can write it here, and then as this go, maybe this anger also maybe disappear. That might be very interesting way to use this board.
Yeah, I like that. I hate to tell you this, but we are out of time.
Oh, okay.
So thank you so much for coming. And
thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, I learned a lot, and I'm excited about it, and I hope to actually